Hey nerds, it is a rainy Tuesday morning, which seems like the perfect time to talk about some books. Sorry if my voice is a little bit weird today. I've had a cold for the past few days, so talking is hard. Anyway, if you follow us pretty regularly, then you might know that I moved a few months ago, and I just finally went to my local public library a couple of weeks ago and got some books. So today I'm going to share with you my library book haul. Here they are! They are so pretty, and I love library books because they're free, and I don't have a lot of money to buy books. The first book I got was Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. This is one of those books that I have heard about for forever and just have never gotten around to reading it, and I was excited because I like fantasy and I knew that this had a Russian feel to it, which I thought was pretty cool because we don't get that very often. And so I was sad that I struggled with this book. It was weird because it has all of the elements that I like, and I really liked the world building and I liked the concept, but I just couldn't connect with the main characters for some reason. I think that it might be less the book's fault and more the fact that I'm having a little bit of fatigue of this type of book. It's definitely one of those special snowflake main character kind of fantasies, and there have been a lot of those recently and I usually enjoy them, but they are starting to seem kind of the same as I read more and more of them, so it might have just been that held me back on this one. Because really the writing was good, and like I said, I loved the world building and the concept, so still give it a try if you haven't read this series yet, because you might like it. I'm definitely not saying that it's a no-go for everyone. I think I gave it 3 or 4 stars because, like I said, it's not a bad book. It just wasn't for me. Second up, Mortal Heart by Robin Lefevers. I was so excited about this one. So Mortal Heart was definitely my favorite of the 3 books that I got from the library. If you aren't aware, this is the 3rd book in the His Fair Assassins trilogy by Robin Lefevers. I cannot recommend this series enough. It is basically about assassin nuns, and that's really all you need to know. But in case you wanted to know a little bit more about the series, it is historical fantasy. It is set during the 1400s, I think, in Brittany, which eventually becomes a part of France, but at the time that the book is taking place, they are trying to maintain their independence from France. And it's also the time period when the local pagan religions are trying to remain independent of Catholicism. So the book centers on the daughters of Mortain, who is the god of death, and they serve him as his assassins. This series is so wonderful. I really can't say enough good things about it. Each of the 3 books is from the point of view of a different girl. They are all 3 tied together, they're best friends, they're all going out on their first assignments, and their stories all intertwine with the story of the Duchess of Brittany trying to stay independent. The 3rd book, Mortal Heart, is the last book, and it is about Aneth, who was the first of the 3 girls to enter Mortain's convent and the last to leave. Out of all the fantasies out there, court intrigue fantasies are my favorite kind, and this book does court intrigue so well. If you have read the other 2 books in the series, the first one is Grave Mercy, the second one is Dark Triumph, and you haven't gotten to Mortal Heart yet, definitely read it. It is just as good as the other 2 and has a great conclusion to the series. If you haven't read the series at all, go pick up Grave Mercy and start it, because I'm serious. It's so good. And the 3rd book I got, and which I am still reading, is Miss Mayhem by Rachel Hawkins. Miss Mayhem is the sequel to Rebel Belle. The series is about a Southern belle who is the perfect student, perfect Southern girl, debutante, who becomes a paladin, which basically means that she gets kick-butt powers and has to protect the new Oracle, who is also one of her least favorite people, David. The 2nd book picks up just a little bit after where the 1st book ended, and so far it has been very fun. I'm not enjoying it quite as much as the 1st book, but I'm also not very far into it, and it's still definitely a good book. Anyway, those are the books that I got from the library and that I've been reading recently. A lot of girls with special powers and lots of girls who are fighting people. I like that. Let me know in the comments if you've read any of these. Let me know what you're reading right now. Have you been to the library recently? If not, you better go because libraries are awesome and you should support them. And don't forget to join us this Sunday at 7:30 Eastern Time for our live chat. I think it's going to be our book club, Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. See you then!